Good morning, Mary Cosley. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Mary, you are a busy human. You've got a book out. Congratulations. Touch Grass. Tell us all about it. What do we need to know?
First of all, you're correct. I am a busy human, but I'm very happy to have Touch Grass loose on the world on June 2nd. And the sort of elevator pitch for Touch Grass is that it is about a woman who wakes up one day and she's no longer in her body, she's a cactus, and whether or not that's an improvement for her and for society at large. So I'd sort of place it in the weird girl fiction space. I've called it a body comedy as opposed to a body horror because it's definitely more comedy
Yeah.
forward. Yeah, that's sort of the super quick pitch. Yes.
And Mary, do you want to tell us a little bit about, you writing, this is your debut novel. Is that fair to say? Tell us
Yeah.
about, yeah, tell us about your writing. Tell us a bit about you.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my debut novel. I'm very happy and excited to say. And I've been writing forever. It's always been the thing I wanted to do, always been the thing I wanted to be. And I sort of do it across different mediums formats. I'm a screenwriter as well as a novelist. I've written short form satire. I've written sort of pop culture content for digital media companies. I've kind of done it all. I'm a bit of a word slinger. And my work, I like to explore in my work sort of speculative futures, which Touchgrass definitely does, and the impact that the digital world has on our physical reality, and do that with a sense of humor and I hope a sense of humanity as well. And ultimately going back to the relationships, which I think will always be more interesting than the technical side of things.
Yeah. And, I think everyone's felt that experience, and I'm talking everyone has felt way too connected at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is the sort of idea of a person who has become separated from their body is really inspired by that sense of like, you cannot separate from the digital world, but by being in the digital world, you feel less connected to your daily physical reality. So, yeah, definitely following that sort of through line across over 300 pages is what I was trying to do.
But the book was good because it kind of, when I was reading it, it kind of gave me a nudge to think about, you know, what my footprint's like for me, and then or obviously gave me permission to think about and have a bit of a reality check. So it was good. It was a good experience.
Oh, thank you. I'm really happy to hear that. And yeah, I think it is ultimately hopeful. I'm not, I don't see much of a point in nihilism. I think the characters are cynical, but they ultimately do want to be living in a better world. So, and that's part of the reason it is allowed to be as funny as it is, because there is a sense of absurdity and ridiculousness, because I think there's a bit of a human heart at the center of it, or they're supposed to be.
Yeah, and there you're right. There's lots of humor. I laughed a lot. Mary, do you want to tell us about yeah, you mentioned your writing journey, all the different aspects to your writing. What was it as far as writing a novel? Yeah, diving into, is there more to come? Like, do you want to share anything that we need to know? What was the experience like, I guess, of writing a novel as opposed to writing for a publication?
Yeah, I'm So one of the things I love and hate about writing is the fact that it is a very solitary experience till you're towards the end. Like obviously editors come in and then other members of the publishing team, like the sales folks, publicity folks, they come in and do a wonderful job. But really it is you on your own wrestling with a Word doc or Google Doc, which is what I use. And I wanted to write something that was complete and that was big, and I was like, a novel was big. And I felt that I had enough to say to fill a novel. I kind of tried a couple different ideas before landing on Touch Grass and its concept. And I couldn't really finish anything because nothing sustained my interest long enough. And part of the sort of digital impact on my attention span, it's been put in a bit of a blender.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wrote the novel kind of like in under 3 months. Actually, I wrote the
Oh,
first draft. It was a
yeah.
bit of a rush. As soon as I sort of found the rhythm, found the voice, it was just so much fun to write, and I really enjoyed writing it. And then I was lucky enough to win the Penguin Literary Prize in
Yeah.
2025, which is how the
Yeah.
book went from being a Google Doc to being like a physical object that's on my desk.
What a cool story. Congratulations. That's
Oh,
awesome.
thank you.
And Mary, I sense that there's going to be more writing. I think, you enjoy this journey, you put it out there, you're going to be busy. But, is that the plan? Is there more writing? Do we have more ideas?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, like writing is really, it's at the center of my life. And I wrote this book without anticipating there being an audience for it. Like I wasn't really thinking about selling it later on. So,
Yeah,
just goes to show how
yeah,
deranged being a writer is. You're
yeah.
like, I'll dedicate hours and hours to this thing that probably no one will ever see. And yeah, absolutely. I'm working on my second book right now. I'm thinking a lot about that, doing research.
Sure.
Probably not going to be in the speculative fiction space, but maybe, I don't know. We're still early on.
Well,
And then
watch
I'm
this
also a
space.
screenwriter.
Yes,
Pardon?
yes. Oh, is there anything you want to tell us about that? Because that sounds interesting.
Yeah, so I moved to Sydney to get my MFA in dramatic writing, so just writing for performance at the National Institute of Dramatic Art. It's also what I studied in undergrad. And the great thing about writing for performance is it is collaborative in a way that fiction writing isn't. So you're working with, depending on the format, you're working with directors, you're working with
Mm.
actors, and I am not a multi-talented person. Like I am only sort of good at writing and I have kind of nothing, I bring nothing else to the table. So it's nice to be able to draw from other people's talents
Yeah.
and kind of work with them. But yeah, I got a couple of those projects bubbling in the background right now, though.
Awesome.
Touchgrass is the focus for now.
Ah, super interesting. Well, Mary, we want those curious humans out there to get curious about touch grass. Thanks for joining us, Mary. If we're watching anywhere in the world and we're curious about you, I know you're on Instagram, but do you want to point us in the direction of where you'd like us to go to check you out or to check out the book?
Yeah, absolutely. Instagram's the best place to find me. I'm just mary.colussi on Instagram. And other than that, I have a website, which is marycolussi.com. Basically, if you Google my name, you will find me. I'm not hiding myself. I'm not hidden anywhere, but Instagram or my website's the best way to find me and see what I'm up to.
Awesome. Well, I'll put those links in the show notes. Mary, all the best. Enjoy debut novel. Thanks for joining us today.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers.